So, ang ginagawa mo is that you're actually taking in all this information, no, about people. And before we even respond to people, no, we make sure that, and then we have gotten cues, no, we have gotten cues, okay, looking at their physical appearance, their verbal and nonverbal communications. Okay, so if there are things that we cannot fathom or we cannot uh, get at the moment, we use the implicit personality theory. So, what is the implicit personality theory? It's a schema that we use, no, to somehow generalize about people, their traits, no, by their physical appearance. So, uh, what we use are available cues. Okay? So, kunyari, example, we see someone who is effeminate, no, like lalaki, malamya, okay, uh, ano yung tawag doon, quite reserved, no, we somehow form our own uh, impressions, no, by generalizing. Okay, so giving information. So look at this. Social perceptions are interlinked with self-perception. No? So every time we come up, no, with impressions of people, they are mostly inaccurate because it's based, no, from our own motivations, based siya from our interests, no, and our biases. So society says the desire to achieve beneficial outcomes for the self and to maintain a positive self-image. Okay, so we tend to prejudge people, okay? But unknowingly, people also are judging us. No, kaya nga it goes both ways. Okay? Now, social perception is one important component of social competence and successful social life. Now, why is it important? Bakit importante ang forming of social perception, no, of people and becoming accurate when we form impressions? Why do you think this is important? And it's now a component of social competence. Sabihin, magaling ka, you're a very good social person, no? If you are somehow good in coming up with your own impression. Sige nga, why do you think so, Erica Rose? Is Erica Rose with us?
Hello,
Hello.
good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon. Why do you think we call a person socially competent kapag magaling siya mag form ng perceptions? Sige daw. Why do you think so? Yes,
Mrs. Me, ma'am,
Erica, where are
can
you?
you can you repeat po kasi choppy po talaga, ma'am?
Okay. Why do you think it says here that social perception is one important component of social competence and successful social life? Hello. Erica Rose. Okay, let's have someone else. Mr. Amdal. Mr. Amdal, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Amdal.
Hello.
Why do you think, hello, so can you hear me, Mr. Amdal?
Yes, ma'am.
So why do you think, again, it says here that social perception is one important component of social competence and successful social life? Hello. Wala talaga. What is it? Is it me or problema internet o ano?
Hindi ma'am,
Yes.
nag-iisip lang ako nung pwede isagot.
Okay. Okay, let's have another one. Kelsey J. Balyon. Kelsey. So the rest are already, I hope you're preparing, no? This is the same question. Sige daw, Kelsey.
Ma'am, excuse me, may I try po?
Okay, sige, Paul Rodney Guzman. Go. Sige, Paul.
So, for me, ma'am, social perception is one important component po in being a competent person po. Kasi ma'am, uh, social perception is a component that proves na we are indeed observing people in our environment. So, in a way po kasi ma'am, yung mga impressions natin sa mga tao, uh, this came from observing the way they, they move their manners, their attitudes, and how they behave po. So, ano po ma'am, it basically means na if magaling ka magbigay ng impression, magaling ka din po mag-observe ng mga behavior. That's my take po.
Okay, thank you, Paul. No, now actually, social perception is we are taking note, no, like what you said, of people around us, and by doing so, no, it makes us better respond to people, di ba? When you're taking cues, tingnan nyo, we don't necessarily respond right away, no, to people. Pinapakinggan natin sila, pinapakiramdaman natin ang tao, right? And so, by being that, we become more sensitive. And in turn, we are now better prepared, okay, to answer, to respond, to relate with other people. Kaya nga, kapag magaling ka with social perception, then you're necessarily socially competent. Okay? Number one, what would be consequences of that? Hindi ka magaslaw, magaspang, no, with people. You are very, ano yan, sensitive, no, of people. Look at this. Why is it important? Because number one, kita nyo, knowing that other people have thoughts, beliefs, emotions, intentions, desires, and the like. Now we are sensitive that we are not the only ones, no, who have ideas, and that other people also may have thoughts on this. Correct? So we are also sensitive of how they might feel. No? So that's part of social perception. No? Nagiging aware tayo of people, no? And uh, what's happening around us. Number two, being able to read other people's inner states based on their words, behavior, facial expressions, and others pa. No? Example, when you say being able to read, para tayo nagbabasa ng libro, I know people they become sensitive of us, no? Pag nandyan tayo, they would say, ay, psychology major siya, no? She must be reading my thoughts. Of course, we do not do that intentionally, but it's sort of built in us, no? That uh, tinitingnan natin ng tao, we already sizing up our of the person based on their what? Based on their thoughts, based on their their words, facial. Another thing is that adjusting one's actions based on those readings, that is a socially competent person can take note, no, or make note of other people's facial expressions, tone of voice, posture, gestures, words, and the like. And on the other and in the basis of these views, make reasonable and accurate judgments. Okay, so nakikita nyo, by looking at people, sabi nga ni Paul, the word is observant of people, no? We are taking down notes. We are taking mental notes. Okay? So that we would know how to respond. We would know how to deal with people. We would know how to relate with people. So that makes you socially competent. Okay? And pag socially competent ka, that somehow brings success in your social life. Okay. Bakit man? Kasi pag maayos ka makitungo sa ibang tao, they would necessarily respect you, no? They would necessarily look up to you. You'd make a good leader, okay? And all these things, no? So, what more about okay, social perception? Thus, okay, what do you mean by social competence? No? Socially competent people must have knowledge of social rules, roles, routines, and scripts, no, in their social lives. Furthermore, they make use of this knowledge and of these scripts in decision making and acting. They also have concern, no, for other people and make it a habit to adjust their behavior based on the needs of others. And in short, no, the vulnerability, kita nyo, these things, una, aware ka sa mga rules, no, sa mga roles that people play in a social environment. Okay? Tapos, you are now able to adjust yourself. You're a very adaptable person. Put you anywhere. Okay? In whatever circumstance, you're able to, okay, to be flexible. Kaya nga, in the end, the point is you are confident, okay, to face anyone at any time. Okay? No? Tapos, kita nyo, the vulnerability associated with projection. We don't always win, right? Okay, there are times that we're going to be humble. May mga circumstances that will really bring you down. No? But a person necessarily learns how to respond to that event. Okay. So next, please, there is a reason why I give you the PowerPoint presentations ahead of time, guys. No? Pero clearly you want to be spoon fed. No, gusto niyo i-explain sa inyo isa-isa and all that. Yes, that is what we do. Kaya lang minsan I expect din na you have read through. Okay? So this time, let's continue. What are first impressions? Hello. Okay. So at the first meeting, okay, so meron talaga dito makasali sa klase. Okay. Okay. So tend to form our impressions on the first meeting, no? And this is so sad because impressions you have formed on the first meeting are necessarily difficult to break, no? Minsan we have our emotions, our judgments influenced by these first impressions, which is quite uh, inaccurate kasi nga you don't expect to get everything on a first meeting basis. Okay? So dito, we have a schema, no? When you say schema, it's a social representation of a person or characteristics of a person, no? Or an event, schema yan. I will later try to show a video to make you understand this better. Okay. So we start now by creating a prototype in our mind, no, or a schema based on superficial things that we see of the person. And eventually, we modify, okay, depending on the amount of information that we get. Okay, so makita ninyo, no, na ganito, this is normally how we form impressions of the person. Okay, until such time, with more information, okay, we already, kita nyo, one term for this process is schema plus correction. So, kunyari pa, no, flexible tayo. So, nag-form na tayo ng impression, pero dahan-dahan, pwede pa natin i-revise, i-modify yung depending on the information. Okay? But for sure, kita nyo, first impressions are often wrong. No? So, pwede ba guys, because this is what we normally do, you know, this is innate, this is parang natural for us. No? I believe, let's reserve our judgments, okay? Not on first impressions. Sige. So what else? What are other terms? Excuse me. Non-verbal communication. So another source of information, no, are non-verbal communications. We tend, okay, to look at the face, the tone of voice, okay, body movements, ano pa, um, facial features, no, the eyes, okay, the mouth, okay, and get cues as to how the person is feeling. Hello, walang sinasabi ha. Words, wala, no words, without any words. No, body language or sounds as a medium. So wala. So non-verbal communication can be defined as a way in which people communicate intentionally or unintentionally without words. Okay? Minsan, I myself, I feel that I am very transparent. I'm unable to disguise. Ano siya? Okay, I am unable to hide what I feel. And so, ang tingin ko talaga, when you look at my face, nakita mo na. Okay? Nakita mo na lahat. So, what are types of, okay, what are types of nonverbal communication? Can you give me one? Okay, sige, magtawag tayo. Can you give me one? Marielle, Jane. Hello. Marielle, Jane. Lugo. Marielle, Jane, Lugo. Yes, Marielle. Yes, I can hear. Ande, are you speaking? Oh, hindi siya marinig. Can you just chat? Chat mo na lang. Sige, give me one example of a non-verbal communication. Eye contact. Okay, sige. Sorry talaga. Nagsa-static yung mic mo. Yes, eye contact, madala ka sa tingin, no? People usually do not talk, but the eye speaks. Okay, maraming sinasabi ang mata. Yes. So what's wrong? Oh, my God. Yun. Am I back? Hello, hello. Ano ba yung ginawa ko? Sige. So let's have another one. Hindi talaga makita sa akin ng attendance. Okay, Marquez Paul Bryan says facial expression. Yeah. No? So would you know someone galit na? The facial expression? Would you know? Kapag bored na? Yeah, sure. No? Okay, Lisley body posture. Okay, paano yung body posture? Siguro, ano na siya, no? Nag, ano ba yan? Nagda-doodling na, okay? So, probably, nakaslouch na, so bored na siya. Okay? Now, gestures, no? That's another way of expressing non-verbal communications na nakikita na natin, no? Okay, pasensya na talaga. I think it's the limitation of the internet. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Klaro pa ba?
Yes po, ma'am.
Ma'am, medyo may delay po,
Hello.
tsaka lagi po.
Okay. Sige. What happened? Nawala na nga yung ano ko. Nawala na yung PowerPoint. Saan na? Can you still see the PowerPoint presentation?
Hindi po, ma'am.
Yun.
Black lang po.
Sige. So, non-verbal communication takes place in every social setting. Black lang?
Okay na po ngayon, ma'am.
Okay na po, ma'am.